What's up, Rockstars? An emergency video today. This is something I'm pushing out ahead of schedule just because it's really important. Petersen Games has just released a whole bunch of personal information of a lot of US backers by accident, and I need to tell you about it. Alright, we're going to cut straight to the point here. The only thing I'm going to say is that obviously none of you should go seek out this information, okay? Don't be that person, all right? This is not a calling attention so that you guys can then go and actually get the info, which would be a little bit hard to do right now. I'll explain all that, but seriously, don't do that. Just be respectful of other people's privacy, please. Okay, so if you didn't know, here's a brief explanation on Reddit that we're going to move over to Board Game Geek and then over to actually the Kickstarter itself, and then one other site at the end. So it says hundreds of US backers have accidentally been doxed by Petersen Games. Essentially, they had a spreadsheet that they kind of posted on their Discord that had your pallet information number and stuff like that, and the first four of your email, I think it was, or something like that. Again, I'll read that in a moment. But it had the spreadsheet had hidden tabs that you could easily access containing the full names, phone numbers, addresses, emails, and backers, among other things. Believe it or not, anything you hide can then be unhidden. It's not removed, it's just hidden. Okay, there's even stuff you can do that with PDFs, all sorts of stuff. Okay, you can't just put a little white block over text on a PDF and say, oh, okay, now it's redacted. Nope, you can remove that. Okay, unless you actually remove the data, it's still there. So kind of a rookie mistake on top of that, but very, very bad for sure. Here's the BGG article. Explains a little bit more. Petersen Games has leaked the names, address, phone numbers, and email addresses of some US backers for their latest Kickstarter. This was the Cthulhu Wars, the Demon Sultan is kind of what this one is. OS4 is what they're calling it. So apparently this was their second round of shipping costs. Like I said, they've already charged you for shipping again. Now they're charging it again. It's just ridiculous. A PG official who goes by Ask a Deep One. The reason I commented on that is just because I feel like it shows a little bit of the professionalism of the company. And, as somebody who's had to kind of grow a little bit more serious about what he's doing here, because when you're dealing with real information and real people, you need to be serious about it. You can't just be lackluster about it. Naming yourself Ask a Deep One instead of having a name, I get it's cute, it's funny to friends maybe, but it's not something I necessarily agree with as a company. And my worry is that it's a sign of other things, of just kind of a lackluster attitude towards the business as a serious business entity. Hopefully that makes sense. I just feel like it's kind of, it's not, the irony is not lost on me that something like this could happen from somebody that goes by the name Ask a Deep One. That's all I mean there. So they sent out a supposedly redacted spreadsheet that only contained the first 7 letters. Sorry, 7 letters. That would be my entire email address. 7 letters of email addresses and the pallet numbers their goods were on. In this spreadsheet, there were hidden tabs that contained full, unredacted information of backers. Now, they actually removed it. So it says, as of this morning, this was yesterday, they actually removed the spreadsheet in question and uploaded a new one, which means they are aware of the situation. This was after there was up for hours. So people obviously noticed this. They're like, hey, there's a whole bunch of information I should not have right now. And then they were really big on, talking about it. And then eventually they took it down. PG has so far not acknowledged the breach in any way other than to replace it. Other than the Deep One stating that there was an error with the spreadsheet. So very, non-admittance kind of thing there. Due to most states' data breach laws, Petersen Games must notify users of the breach. Texas, where Petersen Games holds a business license, has such a law in place that they have not abided by of this post. Now, I know there is obviously some room, and I haven't read up on the laws. I'm honestly no expert there. And by the way, this bold I added this bold as well. Just don't go get information. But looking here, obviously they have not updated it. In fact, the only one that has any text, right? Otherwise, it's just the title, is this one here, which you read the whole thing right there. That's it. So they're not commenting about that really at all, or letting other people know, hey, by the way, we just released your information. There's nothing to assume that obviously this was misused in any kind. However, the really nasty part about this is if I go back to the updates and go to the original one here. So right here at the very bottom, they say, feel free to self-identify, coordinate, encourage, and tease via Discord. This is kind of a Jesse from Quackalope kind of situation, I feel, with Into the Unknown kind of email releasing stuff, where when you say something casually and then something bad happens, that casualness looks really, really bad, right? Same kind of thing here. So you might think it's kind of cute and funny to say, oh, hey, feel free to like, tease each other into paying money. But then when you release everybody's information, so you can just go find exactly who they are, find their email, find their address, find their phone number. And now you have a company saying, hey, feel free to like tease people into paying for your pallet. That's really bad looking, really bad looking. And this is why I can't stress enough how important it is and how these companies need to respect your money and realize the situation that they're in. So much of this, it's like an assumed thing, like, oh, we can just kind of have fun on Kickstarter and do these silly things and make these silly updates and not act in a professional manner, all while having hundreds of thousands of dollars of people's money, or in their case, loaned money. And if you didn't know, by the way, here's Petersen Games, their last two $110,000 loan amounts that they had to be able to pay their employees, which they don't have to pay back, by the way, which is pretty sweet. I wish I had a business so I could just take $200,000 and not give it back. I have student loans, and those will come with me to my grave, apparently. So anyway, what I'm saying is, like, they have a business, a real legit business with hundreds of thousands to millions of dollars that they've been going through over the years. And they're still acting like this. And it's just, Kickstarter is great. Crowdfunding is great in the concept of you can make somebody's dreams become a reality. But when they get to this level of taking so many people's money for so many years and then not being real like businessmen and like running a business, it creates problems like this where suddenly they're releasing information they shouldn't, and it's all this lackluster stuff, and they're super casual in their updates and ask, you're supposed to ask a deep one. You're supposed to ask a deep one questions, and it's just bad. But yeah, this looks really bad. Feel free to self-identify, coordinate, encourage, and tease via Discord. So I'm going to link down to this BGG article here because they do have kind of instructions around talking to your state attorney general and stuff like that when it comes to what you can do about your data breach. Normally, what they have to do is, first of all, identify you, and then I believe they normally offer some kind of identification, like a ID theft insurance or something like that. I'm not sure. Obviously, that's not something Petersen Games wants to do. They're already taking out loans just to pay their employees, so that's not good. They're definitely in a tough spot, and this certainly doesn't help. And it's one of those things where they're just trying to move so fast that you're going to make mistakes. Yeah, anyway, if you are a US backer and you did back Cthulhu Wars, or potentially, again, I don't know how limited it was, if you've backed Petersen Games at all, you might want to try and figure out if you were on that list, if there are some people that might have your phone number and address, because that would be kind of bad. Anyway, guys, that's all I had. I just want to share this out as an announcement so that you guys can take care of yourselves. Make sure you know what your information is and where. And if this affects you at all, I am sorry. And I'm sorry you had to find out from me instead of from them. That's kind of the real bummer here, is that I'm doing the job they should be doing. Anyway, that's it. That's all I had, though. Have a great rest of your day. I'll talk to you guys again real soon with some more awesome board game news and content. So stay tuned for that. Guys, thank you so much. Take care. Bye, guys.